वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा।
We Parameshwara and other dignitaries in the dais, distinguished and revered other dignitaries in the audience, ladies and gentlemen. I deem it an honor to be called upon to inaugurate this felicitation function in honor of Dr. V. Parameshwara on his 77th birthday. I don't think this committee could have done anything better than choose a topic of medical ethics at Crossroads for celebrating or honoring Dr. Parameshwara, because as was said in the beginning itself, Dr. Parameshwara followed the ethics of the profession without fail at any point of time. So naturally, a subject of this nature, in his honor, is certainly a very, very great thing.
By Robert Louis Stevenson, who said, there are many classes of men that stand above the common herd, the soldier, the sailor, and the shepherd, not infrequently. The artist rarely are still the clergyman. The physician, almost a rose, is the flower, such as it is of our civilization. Next please, this was the pride and the place the physicians had in that century. Because physicians are always pure and among the elite, because what he does, no one else in the society can do. He goes on to say, the physician is superior to twice born, for he is thrice born, the third birth after the completion of medical education. Vidya samapto Vishajah Vitiya Januchati. I don't think a physician can be placed much higher than this position. Next, please. That also says there are two categories of physicians, the right one and the wrong one. The former remove disease and assure life, while the latter produces illness and remove the life itself. Former hail from respectable families, diligent, and their competent elderly physicians. They have self-control and they are well equipped and free from defects. Next, please. Next, please. All was not hunky-dory either. There were quacks and fakes, even in those days. There were quacks, and these fakes were known as pratirupakas and kubaiyas. Fake physicians are those who treats without knowing anything and making false claims must be severely punished according to the Monodharma. Next, please. Punishment, according to Kautilya, for these quacks should be very, very bad, very, very severe. And that punishment meted out to a false physician must be mild or severe according to the damage that he has caused and the suffering that the patient has experienced because of this treatment. The judge will say, previous one, please. The quack is to be fined very heavily. Next, please. Historically, over the doctor's treated. Among the private chiefs, doctor was buried alive with the chief when the chief died because the doctor failed to keep the chief alive. Not only that, doctors of royal households have always to be on guard because they will be punished if the king dies. This is true even today when the politicians fall sick. You know what happens when another dies. Mr. Raju, the doctor's house was ransacked. So all of us must be on guard when we treat very, very big ones. Laennec, who invented stethoscope, was prosecuted as he was found with his ear and a hole in his chest and among us advance. Anyway, the place of physician since the time immemorial was one of friend, philosopher, and guide. Physicians were a class apart. They lived with honor and dignity, and they blended well with the society. Society also solicited physicians' advice and guidance on personal, family, and community problems. It was so even in my days when I became a physician in the year 1952. Therefore, the healing profession was a helping profession too. Next, please. Then what happened? What is the place of physician today in the society? With the extension of society and the explosion of knowledge, times have changed. Power and prerogatives have grown due to new technologies. In recent years, even the public opinion has shifted radically as members of medical profession have increasingly accepted complex and demanding roles in society. Doctor, in fact, is reduced from the position of a healer to a helper, something like a motor mechanic. Next, please. See, what is the physician's role today in society? All kinds of problems now roll to the doctor's door. It may be sagging anatomies to suicide, unwanted childlessness to unwanted pregnancies, marital difficulties to learning difficulties, genetic counseling to drug addiction, laziness to crime. Next, please. Unheard of in olden days. Responsibilities have grown due to rising patient and social demands for medical health. It can be anything but medicine. It can be behavioral and social problems. Patients are better informed about their health and they expect their doctors to make decisions with and not for them. Days when the doctor knew best are just over. Next, please. What is the goals of medicine? What are the goals of medicine today? Medicine's great technical power has reached a state of absolute confusion. About what? About its standards and about its goals. When its powers were fewer, its purpose was very clear. Medicine was considered as a model of an art at one time. Today, medicine's targets are no longer clear. Health is not the only possible reasonable goal today. There are other goals as well, which we would call it as false goals. Next, please. What are they? To provide happiness to society nowadays. That has become an important job of a doctor. Like plastic surgery to make you beautiful, artificial insemination, amniocentesis and abortion as we have nowadays, arranging adoptions, vasectomy. Not only that, behavioral modifications, prevention of crime, treating juvenile delinquency, reduction of laziness, biological manipulations, producing high-immune optimum people in the world. This has nothing to do with the medicine, but we have taken up that job. Therefore, doctors have become managers of computerized information. Next, please. Not only that, we did not stop there. We have got a message for the elders. Keep young and keep beautiful if you want to be loved. How do we do it? We have got the botulinum toxin to take away wrinkles on the face. We have got the minoxidil to improve our baldness. We have got the tooth whitening treatment. We have hormone replacement for women and also underplastic for men and a pill for every ill. Unfortunately, we do not have medicalization for poverty and loneliness of old age. It is a communist social stuff. Next, please. What we are saying today, we have got too much of medicine. Death, pain and sickness are part of being human. All cultures have developed the means to help people cope with all three. Modern medicine destroyed these three cultural capacities, launching instead an inhuman attempt to defeat death, pain and sickness. That's where the problem started. Next, please. Therefore, there is a dwindling respect for doctors today because the one-to-one physician-patient relationship has gone, no more. Average doctor sees many more patients in a day, but much fewer than he would like to do. A modern doctor is overtrained for his job, yet undertrained for the job he is expected to do. Every doctor knows how to treat a heart attack. Most of the doctors know how to put a catheter to the heart, but they do not know how to give an enema or pass the nasal gastric tube. The good enough doctor somehow can never be good enough. Next, please. The adversarial contest between the doctor and the patient, how does it start? All of us should remember one important thing. In a professional man, a standard of judgment is not negligence, including the justices. This is Lord Denning's report, justice. But what happens? Still, even in emergency, it's not an excuse for bad medicine either. That should also be driven home. But when things go wrong, no one likes to admit things have gone wrong. Least of all, politicians and doctors. Even if not culpable, vehemently they react and defensively too. Next, please. What happens then? That results into a state of trust disintegrates to adversarial contest between the embattled doctors and the Brewist families. There's a tremendous call to develop and improve upon one's communication skills. The doctor means a dossier. Dossier means a teacher. A doctor should always be a good communicator. Frank and sympathetic explanation, timely expression of an apology towards many and adverse situations. Next, please. Where loyalty and commitment are challenged or broken, certainly people feel betrayed. Therefore, public do have a grievance against the doctors. What do they say? Who is the best judge of health? Doctor or the patient? I always feel patient. Medical care is costly and not equitably available. Not only that, medical professionals do not adhere to medical ethics nowadays. It's a common complaint we hear. Even senior medical men are surprised at the erosion of medical ethics, but also its fast deterioration. Next, please. When they say medical ethics, they mean this man's name, Hippocrates' oath. What does it mean? Can you text please? Hippocratic oath represents the ethical considerations prevalent in the practice of medicine in ancient Greek, Roman and Alexandrian and European countries, and probably started during Hippocratic time, and has its first and earliest reference in the first century. Nowadays, corporate houses as healthcare providers, they say we are providing care to the community. It's not health, sir, it's medicine, they care medicine. They are not interested in the healthy people. They are interested in the sick people. They produce sickness also sometimes. In recent times, healthcare delivery is a big business. The money is spinner. Even the economic practice has come to stay. Corporate houses and private bodies have a huge stake because there is money. Health means economy today. Economy means money. There are high-tech hospitals. Their slogan is service, but the profit is a motive. They are everywhere career. Ethics are credits to make money. However, they do cater to the medical needs by providing tertiary management, which no state can afford to provide to all. Next, please. So forget about medical ethics. Can we have something in place of it? Can we call medical profession as a purely profession? Or can we call it as a business? Or can we have some standard care, some rules, which every one of us have to follow? Next, please. What happens in profession? Profession promotes the interest of the patients. Fees are incidental. They have a concern, they have a duty, there's a political independence, and profession is knowledge-based. On the other hand, business, it promotes their own interest. Profits are central, concerned with wants. There is no social commitment, and there is no political independence. That is always there. Next, please. What happens if you enter medical profession? Doctors want to have profession, who too often want it to seem rather than to be. With a doctor, professions get lost in the noise of fame, achievement, power, and money. Okay, let us have guidelines there. Evaluation of doctors' professional conduct or performance by standard medical care. Next, please. Who should do it? It should emanate from a credible, acceptable source. Governments, okay, they are our mom and boss, but they do not qualify because they always say cost containment, cut your cost, and also the ration they have care because they have to reach everybody. Insurance growth? No, they interfere with the insurance economy. Okay, Medical Council of India, they are good, but they may regard it as a minimum acceptable standard. Standards as a care reflect optimal care at all levels. A goal that simply could not be achieved. So we can't have a goal. So what do the doctors say? With this amount of confusion, is what they have got to say. They say power of medicine today. Knowledge is power. Today, military is not power. No religion, no status. Medical services cannot be taught or altered by bribing. You can't change the diagnosis by giving more money. There is never a right price for medical services. Fees are incidental. There is no competition in medicine. That's what they say. Enemies, none. Jealousy, plenty. Let's see. So they also say that no profession other than medicine does so much free and charitable service to society. Ethics is not the exclusive territory of medical men. Every profession has its own ethics, from Prime Minister right up to the sweeper. If there is a dilution in the values in medical practice, it is a reflection of changes in the values in the present day society. Actually, that is their view. Therefore, my view is this. It starts my view, next slide. Therefore, shall we stop taking oaths as a professor, as a justice? And they said, is it time to end taking oaths instead of all this confusion and the economic practice? Students should be aware of oaths rather than swearing oaths. Oath provides moral framework for practitioners and certainly instills faith and trust in their patients. Medical training should encourage discipline, a spirit of candor, humility and partnership with patients, something which does not come naturally to medical students or doctors. This has to be hammered again and again. Next, please. Then where is the solution then? The relationship between a patient and doctor has been and should be unique, based on trust, faith and confidence, and should remain so. Patients' trust in their doctor may be increased by the knowledge that the medical profession is putting its own house in order. Next, please. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, with good ethics, we as medical people are priceless. Without it, we are worthless. Thank you for your patience.